Namaskaram students. Entropy symbol is S. In this one, this zeros, small zeros indicate that it is a standard. This triangle is delta, delta means change, and this S means entropy. Now this symbol is indicate that standard change in entropy. The next one, standard change in entropy for reaction or means reaction. The next one, there is no standard here, just a change in entropy in fusion. Next one, change in entropy for vaporization, change in entropy for transition. These are we are going to see. The next one, Gibbs free energy. What is Gibbs free energy means? The symbol is G. The definition we will see in PPT. And next one, relationship between delta G0, that small 0 indicate that it's standard. So standard change in Gibbs free energy, and KEG, EQ. What is EQ means? Equilibrium. K means constant. So equilibrium constant. We are going to see the relationship between standard Gibbs free energy change and equilibrium constant. The last one is third law of thermodynamics. So rest of the lesson in PPT.
Entropy definition. What is entropy means? It is a measure of molecular disorder of the system. Disorder means randomness. See, the solid means the molecule inside the molecule it is orderly arranged, but liquid, the inside the molecules are irregularly arranged. In the same way in gases also it is more irregularly arranged. If a ice cube you keep in a room temperature, the ice cube slowly changed into water. So water means liquid. That is, the order to disorder somewhat increases spontaneously. The same way, if you keep the liquid, that is water, for some time, the water itself changed into vapor. That means it is more, it goes to more disorder. So in spontaneous process, the entropy increases. Entropy means randomness or disorderness or increases. This is called as entropy. And entropy, in the formula we can write it in the box I written. What is DS means the change in entropy equal to change in heat. It is in a reversible process divided by temperature. So for the heat, what is the unit means joule, and for temperature it is Kelvin. So SI unit, the entropy unit is joule per Kelvin. And we have already learned the entropy statement. The spontaneous process, the entropy is increases. Now the total entropy changes is equal to entropy changes in system plus entropy changes in surrounding. In reversible process, irreversible process, the spontaneous process always irreversible process. For example, you keep it in mind, the water falls from the hills. That water from the hills to down only we have. That is a spontaneous process, but it is never the from water from downwards upward, it is never possible. So for irreversible process, it is a irreversible process. So always the spontaneous process are irreversible process. One more example for spontaneous process, aging. If you aged means that aged person, the old person never changed as a young person. So the young person changed as a old person. It is a spontaneous. But the reversible, the old person never changed as a young person. So the spontaneous process is always irreversible process. Now, in the irreversible process, the entropy changes of total entropy changes is always increases. For example, expansion of gases for reversible process, it is occurred in one direction only. That again, that gases never accumulated in one places. They always expanded. So the entropy is always increases for the irreversible process. It can be indicated by above zero. So entropy changes for total is above zero. That zero side, that what is entropy total I told that is entropy changes in system plus entropy changes in surrounding. So you put that, we get the total entropy changes is greater than the entropy changes of system plus entropy changes of surrounding. Now, for reversible process, for example, melting of ice. That melting of ice, the entropy changes in system is increases, but entropy changes in surrounding decreases. So that delta S system is equal to minus delta S surrounding. If you change the surrounding into left hand side, means we get the total entropy changes, that is 0. We have already learned this Kelvin-Planck statement. It is impossible to construct a machine that absorbs heat from the hot source and then converted completely into work by complete process without transferring a part of a heat to the cold sink. And also another way we can say that the input, the 100% of input never changed into output. So now we are going to see the efficiency of the machine by the way of input and output. Let's we see the in coming slides. From Kelvin-Planck statement, we are going to now measure that formula for efficiency. Efficiency is equal to work performed divided by heat absorbed. Work, how it is performed means the heat absorbed from the reservoir, hot reservoir, and then it is transferred to the cold reservoir. So efficiency is equal to QH. QH means it is a heat absorbed from the hot reservoir. Consider this hot reservoir as a system, and then QC. QC means heat transferred to the cold reservoir, that is considered as a surroundings. Now the efficiency is equal to QH minus QC divided by QH. The QH in the denominator, now we are going to separately used for the numerator each member. Now we get eta is equal to QH by QH minus QC by QH. The QH cancel. Then the eta formula in the equation 7.27, like this we get eta is equal to 1 minus modulus of QC divided by modulus of QH. Then the reversible cyclic process, we know the total entropy changes is equal to 0. So the system entropy changes is the opposite to the surroundings entropy changes. So that system entropy is equal to changes is equal to minus system surroundings entropy changes. Then system, what we are considering here, it is a hot reservoir. So that QH by DH is equal to minus that surroundings we are considered as a cold reservoir. So minus QC divided by TC. Afterward interchanging the QH and the TC, we get the equation TC by TH is equal to minus QC by QH. Now substituting the equation 7.28 in the 7.27, we get the eta formula is equal to 1 minus TC by TH as a equation 7.29. Here the TH is present in the denominator. So the denominator means the cold reservoir temperature is always less, but high heat temperature is always higher. So eta value we get as a less than 1. So from that we are considering now we concluded that the efficiency is always less than 1. What does that means? Efficiency is always less than 1. Then efficiency percentage we can calculate from the equation eta is equal to 1 minus TC by TH into 100. Percentage means we have to multiply with 100. In this problem, engine temperature is 816 degrees Celsius, but surrounding temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. We have to calculate the efficiency formula TH minus TC divided by TH. For TH, it is given as 816 degrees Celsius. We calculate into Kelvin by adding 273. We get the Kelvin. The same way, surrounding temperature also we have to change in a Kelvin value by adding 273. Then efficiency. We get it by substituting the corresponding value. We get the efficiency as 73%. Percentage means we have to multiply with 100. Then keep it in mind. Here the degree Celsius we have to we should convert it into Kelvin. Then only we get the answer. If you use in degree Celsius, you never get the answer in a correct form. Here also the heat engine temperature is 127 degrees Celsius, and then it surroundings it take away 47 degrees Celsius, that is Tc. That Tc value you have to change it in a Kelvin. Afterward, eta value, that is efficiency formula, is Th minus Tc divided by Th. The Th is 400 Kelvin and Tc is 320 Kelvin. Substitute the value, we get the eta value. Standard entropy. What is standard means? The standard condition. What are the standard condition means? Temperature should be a 298 Kelvin and pressure should be 1 bar pressure. Then what entropy we are calculating, that entropy is called a standard entropy. As per the definition, what is the definition for standard entropy means? It is the absolute entropy of the system when we calculated at the standard condition 298 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure, that is called as standard entropy S0. Then the standard entropy of the substance above 0 Kelvin, it has always having positive value. It is important, one word girls, keep it in mind. And then based on this entropy we will learn third law of thermodynamics later. Then now standard entropy of the chemical reaction. Chemical reaction means how can you write the chemical reaction? Reactant in the left hand side and product in the right hand side. So whatever product entropy changes, we have to submit that product, summation of product of entropy changes minus summation of reactant entropy, standard entropy. It gives the standard entropy change of the reaction. Then standard entropy of formation. Then formation means what? It form 1 mole of compound. When the 1 mole of compound formation, the elements under the standard condition, the entropy changes is called as entropy formation of entropy, standard entropy of formation. You have to note that the condition should be a standard condition. That under the standard condition we are going to measure the entropy changes for 1 mole of substance, means that is called as standard entropy of formation. Refer the problem. In this problem, carbon dioxide is going to be formed by elements carbon element and oxygen element. For carbon element, standard entropy is given as 5.740. For oxygen, standard entropy is given as 205, and then carbon dioxide standard entropy is given as 213.6. Now we are going to calculate the standard entropy of reaction. Reaction means product minus reactant. So product, we are carbon dioxide only we are having, so carbon dioxide minus, and then in the reactant side carbon plus oxygen, so add the carbon plus oxygen standard entropy, and then minus from that 213.6 we get the standard entropy change of reaction. Urea on hydrolysis produce ammonia and carbon dioxide. For that you see the reaction, urea formula NH2CO NH2 plus hydrolysis means water adding reaction is called as hydrolysis. In that hydrolysis, what is the product means ammonia and carbon dioxide. Ammonia is NH3, carbon dioxide CO2. Here we have to keep it in mind, the reaction should be balanced. In reactant side we have 2 nitrogen, but in product side only 1 nitrogen. For that we are going to write 2 in front of the ammonia. Afterward you calculate the hydrogen and oxygen, everything is balanced now. Now urea entropy is given as 173.8, and then water is given as 70, and ammonia it is given as 192.5. but ammonia, 1 ammonia standard entropy is given but in reaction how many ammonia is there? 2 ammonia, so that we have to multiply with 2 with 192.5. Then and then carbon dioxide, we have only 1 carbon dioxide, so 213.5 as it is we are going to keep in the formula. Now that entropy change of the reaction is equal to summation of entropy changes, standard entropy of product minus summation of standard entropy of reactant. Here 2 ammonia, so that 2 into standard entropy of ammonia, but 1 carbon dioxide, so standard entropy of carbon dioxide minus summation of standard entropy of urea plus standard entropy of water. We get the answer later. Entropy change in the phase. Phase means state. When one state is changed from another state. See that one example. Ice is changed from solid state to water state. Water means liquid state at a particular temperature 273 Kelvin. The same way water in the liquid state changed into water vapor at particular temperature 373 Kelvin. Again that same temperature water vapor can be changed as a water, and water can be changed as a ice. So it is a reversible process. In that reversible process at constant temperature means ice to water, what is the constant temperature? 273 Kelvin. And from water to water vapor, what is the constant temperature? 373 Kelvin. So at constant temperature reversibly, two phases are in equilibrium. Equilibrium means the forward rate is equal to backward rate. Forward backward you are understanding, I think. So it is equilibrium. That equilibrium, the entropy changes is equal to Q reversible. Q means heat at the reversible process divided by temperature. That reversible, we can now that reversible heat can be written as delta H reversible. What is delta H means? Enthalpy change in reversible process divided by temperature. The next one, entropy of fusion. Fusion means melting. That when 1 mole of solid melts at its melting point reversibly, that is called as 1 mole means it is a molar. So molar heat of fusion. For that equation is delta S fusion. S means entropy goes, H means enthalpy. So delta S means change in entropy fusion is equal to change in enthalpy fusion divided by temperature. The temperature should be in a fusion, that is melting point. DF means melting point. Entropy of vaporization. When 1 mole of liquid during the boiling point it changes as a water vapor. That boiling point reversibly it can be changed as a liquid also. So at that time 1 mole of liquid is boiled means that entropy changes. We calculated as molar heat of vaporization. That entropy change is given as delta S vaporization is equal to delta H vaporization divided by TB. During the vaporization we have to keep it in mind what temperature we are calculating means boiling point temperature. And entropy of transition means that solid changes from one allotrophic form to another allotrophic form during the transition temperature reversibly. We have to keep it in mind that reversible also. So 1 mole of substance we have to calculate whatever the entropy changes is called as entropy of transition. The formula, entropy change in formula is equal to delta H transition divided by TT. TT means transition temperature. Ice at 273 Kelvin is changed to water at a liquid state. 273 Kelvin means 0 degrees Celsius. It is given in the problem, and for that enthalpy of fusion of ice also given as 6008 joule mole minus 1. Now we have to find out the entropy change. The entropy change of fusion is equal to the enthalpy change of fusion divided by TF. TF means freezing point. Freezing point is 273 Kelvin, and delta H is equal to 6008. That 6008 divided by 273 we get 22.007 joule Kelvin minus 1 mole minus 1. 1 mole of ethanol is evaporated at 351 Kelvin means the boiling point temperature is given as 351 Kelvin, and molar heat of vaporization is given 39.84 kilojoule mole minus 1. That is delta H vaporization is given as in kilojoule. We have to convert it into joule means just multiply with 1000 we get the answer 39,840 joule mole minus 1. Afterward, what is the formula for entropy changes for vaporization? That is enthalpy of vaporization divided by TB. So just to put the value of delta H value and then temperature value, we get the answer for entropy change of vaporization as 113.5 joule Kelvin minus 1 mole minus 1. Gibbs free energy, the next term we are going to learn. Before that, so far we studied the second law of thermodynamics. The important uses of second law of thermodynamics is it gives the spontaneity of the reaction. What is spontaneity means? Spontaneous reaction without any external driving force, we get the reaction, means that is spontaneous reaction. Otherwise, if you use the external force only, the reaction occurred, means that is called as non-spontaneous reaction. For example, waterfall. The waterfall without any driving force only, it is flowed from upper to lower. The same way sugar dissolves. Sugar dissolves, we never give any driving force, itself it dissolve in water. And heat flows from hotter end to colder end. Without any forces, the heat flows from hotter end to colder end. The same way, see the diagram. In this diagram, that container containing two compartment, one compartment containing gases, another compartment there is no gases, it is closed in the middle. If you open the middle, the what happen, the gases from one compartment to another compartment, it moves. But the again that empty compartment to gases, which compartment it moves is that gases never changed into other compartment itself. That is called as non-spontaneous, isn't it? Now, that spontaneous reaction, they occur in one direction only. The opposite direction never occur in the spontaneous reaction. In this line, we are going to see why we need one more thermodynamic function, Gibbs free energy. First of all, the exothermic reaction, not all the spontaneous reaction, large number of exothermic reactions are spontaneous reaction. Exothermic means the heat is evolved, so delta H value negative. Wherever the delta H value negative, that is called as exothermic reaction. See the first example, methane combustion reaction of methane and acid base neutralization reaction. In this reaction, delta value is negative. So these are spontaneous reaction. So large number of exothermic reactions are spontaneous, not all the exothermic reaction. The same way, some of the endothermic reaction, endo means heat is inside means the energy is added, so delta H value positive. Here the ammonium nitrate changed into ammonium plus NO3 minus, the delta H value is positive. So here this one is a spontaneous process. In this spontaneous process, it is endothermic reaction. But in exothermic, or not all the exothermic is a favor for spontaneous. So that we need one more thermodynamic function. And in the spontaneous process, the entropy increases, but not all the process it is increases process. Wherever the entropy increases, that is not all spontaneous. So to predict the spontaneity, we need one more thermodynamic function, that is Gibbs free energy. That Gibbs free energy is used to predict the spontaneity of the reaction. The Gibbs free energy was developed by Josiah Willard Gibbs. What is the Gibbs free energy means? It is the available energy to do work in a system. That energy formula is G is equal to H minus Ts. And the Gibbs free energy is a extensive property, and it is a single value, and the HTS, all the one are state function. So G also a state function only. And then you consider the initial system as a 1 and final system as a 2. The value for initial system is G1, H1 and S1 at constant temperature. Temperature should be constant here. And then final state, the G value is G2, H value is H2 and S value is S2. Then now change means G2 minus G1 is equal to H2 minus H1 minus temperature constant, so T put, and S2 minus S1. And change in Gibbs free energy is equal to change in enthalpy minus multiplication of temperature into change in entropy. So we can write the equation 7.35 as 7.36 also. For equilibrium process, the entropy change for total is equal to 0. Why it is 0 means the entropy change for system is equal to negative entropy change for surroundings, so that we are getting total entropy changes is equal to 0. The same way for equilibrium process, give free energy change also 0. Now for spontaneous process, the entropy change for total is greater than 0. So that total means what? That system and then surroundings, that it is addition of system and surrounding. So delta S total now changed as a delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Then delta S surrounding alone, if you put the formula, what is the formula for entropy? Delta H surrounding divided by T. Then the delta H surrounding is equal to, it is a negative for delta H system. So instead of delta H surrounding, I put negative delta H system. Afterward, the T in the denominator, that denominator multiply with the numerator. That numerator means we get T delta S system minus delta H system. Afterward the T will be multiplied with the 0, so it becomes 0. Then now we are taken out that negative value alone, means negative taken out means the negative, the whole bracket delta H system minus the plus value is changed as a minus T into delta H system greater than 0. Now this according to our G formula, Gibbs free energy formula, what is the formula? H minus T into S. So we get the same one. So we replace this formula as a negative delta G. The negative value is now how can you change the symbol? Means less than 0. So for spontaneous process, delta G value becomes less than 0. Afterward, for spontaneous process, delta G less than 0 means how it is changed for non-spontaneous process, the delta G value greater than 0. Now see the blue color. So in equilibrium process, delta G value 0. For spontaneous process, delta G less than 0. For non-spontaneous process, delta G greater than 0. In this slide, we are going to see the Gibbs free energy and the network. Gibbs free energy formula is delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. And then we know the delta H formula, delta H is equal to delta U plus P into delta V. Substitute the second equation in first equation, we get the third equation as delta G is equal to delta U plus P into delta V minus T into delta S. Afterward, work done by the system. Work done by the system means work is done by the system, so that the energy is going to be low. So the low means negative value we have to substitute. So delta U is equal to Q minus W. Then on the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy change, we get one formula, that is Q by T. So now substitute the fourth equation and fifth equation in third equation. We get delta G value Q minus W plus P into delta V minus T into Q by T. The T cancel, we get another equation delta G equal to Q minus W plus P into delta V minus Q. Q cancel, now delta G value minus W plus P into delta V. Afterward, if you put the negative value before the delta G means the sign or in the W also reversed, so we get plus W and P delta V becomes minus P delta V. This one is called as network. This sixth equation is called as network. We get the network when the P delta V, that is pressure volume work is we subtracted, means we get the work. That work is called as network. So decrease in free energy accompanied by maximum work obtainable from the system other than the expansion work. Expansion work means the minus P into delta V is called as work due to the expansion. Criteria for the spontaneity of the process. For spontaneity process, we depends on three factors. One is delta G, delta H and delta S. Delta G means free energy change, delta H means free enthalpy change, delta S means entropy change. Now in the table, first and fourth table, first table, the entropy positive means delta H and delta G value negative. This one for spontaneous at all temperature. So in fourth one, When entropy is negative, the enthalpy and Gibbs free energy both are positive. This one for non-spontaneous at all temperature. Then now see the second one, second column, and here the delta H, delta S both are negative, but delta G value, that is negative at low temperature. The negative means that is spontaneous at low temperature, at positive at high temperature means it is non-spontaneous. It is based on the calculation only, we will see that one. That based on calculation we get the delta G value. If you substitute the value of delta H and delta S in the formula, we get the delta G value like this. The same way in third column, delta H and delta S value positive. That delta G value, we get the positive value at low temperature. It is a non-spontaneous at low temperature. Then again that delta H and delta S value positive, but the high temperature we get the delta G value negative. So negative means it is spontaneous at high temperature. Standard Gibbs free energy change for reaction, we get it from the equation standard Gibbs free energy formation for product minus summation of standard Gibbs free energy formation of reactant. Here the product is carbon dioxide Gibbs free energy given, and carbon monoxide Gibbs free energy also given, but oxygen is a element, so element Gibbs free energy always 0 ma. So put the value, we get the delta G reaction as negative. So negative value for delta G means it is a spontaneous reaction. In this problem, delta H value given in the kilojoule mole minus 1 converted into joule. So 10,000 minus 10,000 joule minus 1, and delta S value minus 20 joule Kelvin minus 1 mole minus 1. We have to find out the delta G value. Delta G formula delta H minus T into delta S. In here the temperature 300 Kelvin means we get the delta G value minus 4 kilojoule mole minus 1. That means that is 4000 joule mole minus 1. At 600 Kelvin, if you substitute the value for temperature 600, but delta H to delta S value same value only, we get the delta G value 2 kilojoule mole minus 1, that positive quantity. So negative means it is spontaneous, and positive means it is a non-spontaneous. So 300 Kelvin it is a spontaneous, but 600 Kelvin it is non-spontaneous. Relationship between standard free energy change and equilibrium constant. In reversible process, that is perfect equilibrium means both the directions are having the degrees in free energy, but it is not possible. So it is possible only when the equilibrium, the free energy system is minimum. Now you consider the equilibrium between the A plus B and then C plus T. Then free energy change is given as delta G is equal to delta G standard plus RT ln Q. It is one equation we have to memorize ma. Q is a reaction constant. What is reaction constant means it is under non-equilibrium condition, the ratio between concentration of product to concentration of reactant. You will learn this reaction quotient in that next volume, the first lesson. The next one, if the equilibrium is attained means the delta G value becomes 0. So the equation 7.39 now becomes 0 plus delta G 0 plus RT ln K equilibrium, because the quotient also now changes as a equilibrium constant. Then delta G 0 is equal to that minus RT ln EQ. Just to reverse the equation, this is Van 't Hoff equation. Then what is ln means it is a natural log. Now convert into log base 10 means just you multiply the 2.303 with that equation, we get delta G 0 is equal to minus 2.303 RT ln K equilibrium. So now we get the two equation, delta G 0 is equal to delta H 0 minus T into delta S 0, and another equation delta G 0 is equal to minus RT ln K equilibrium. Third law of thermodynamics is based on the entropy. The entropy is directly related with the temperature. Lower temperature means lower entropy. When the temperature is higher, for example 100 degrees Celsius, it is in a vapor state, it is a highly disordered state, so entropy also higher. then slowly your cooling means that 0 degree Celsius slowly decreases, it becomes liquid phase, the entropy also slowly decreased. And further cooling, that is that liquid state now changes as a ice crystal. That ice crystal, it is highly ordered, inside the molecules it is highly arranged, so entropy is become as a very low. And again cooling the further ice crystal, the vibration of molecules slowly reduced, and then it is very small entropy at absolute zero. Then all modes of that vibration of molecules also stopped. That time what happened means the entropy become very very low. So third law of thermodynamics state that the entropy is zero for the pure crystalline system when the temperature is absolutely zero. When the temperature is absolutely zero, see the box, the limit is temperature is absolutely zero means the entropy value also becomes zero. This only for perfectly ordered crystalline solid. The order should be perfectly ordered. Then now see that the crystal with the defects, sometimes the crystal having the defects at absolute zero, but the entropy value somewhat greater than zero, because it is not in order, so that the entropy is greater than zero even though the temperature is absolutely zero.